You've heard of Julius Caesar and of great Napoleon too, and how the Cork militia beat the Turks at Waterloo. But there's a page in history that as yet remains uncut, and that's the warlike story of the Slattery mounted foot. This gallant corps was organised by Slattery's eldest son, a noble-minded poacher with a double-breasted gun. And many a head was open, aye, and many an eye was shut, when learning to manoeuvre with the Slattery mounted foot. While down from the mountains came the squadrons and platoons, 24 fighting men and a couple of stout gossoons. When going into action held each musket by the butt, we sang a song and marched along with Slattery's mounted foot. Well, first we reconnoitred round O'Sullivan's shebeen. It used to be the shop house, but we called it the canteen. And there we saw and noticed that the greatest heart unnerved, all liquor must be settled for before a drink is served. So on we marched, and soon again each warrior's heart grew pale, for rising high in front of us we saw the county jail. And when the army faced about was just in time to find a couple of stout policemen had surrounded us behind. While down from the mountains came the squadrons and platoons, 24 fighting men and a couple of stout gossoons. When going into action held each musket by the butt, we sang a song and marched along to Slattery's mounted foot. We'll cross the ditch, our leader cried, and take the foe in flank. But yells of consternation here arose through every rank, for posted high upon a tree we very plainly saw trespassers prosecuted in accordance with the law. We're filed against at Slattery, this ends our grand campaign. 'Tis merely throwing life away to face that muddy drain. I'm not as bold as lions, but I'm braver than a hen, and he who flies and runs away will live to fight again. So back to the mountains went the squadrons and platoons, 24 fighting men and a couple of stout gossoons. When going into action held each musket by the butt, we sang a song and marched along to Slattery's mounted foot. They reached the mountain safely, though all stiff and sore with cramp. We took a wet of whiskey near to dissipate the damp. And when they loaded all their pipes, our Slattery ups and said, "Today's a mortal fight, will be remembered by the dead." I never shall forget to see while this brave heart shall beat the eager way you followed when I headed the retreat. You prefer the soldier's maxim when resisting from the fight. Best be a coward for a day than a dead man all your life. So there in the mountains lay the squadrons and platoons, 24 fighting men and a couple of stout gossoons. When going into action held each musket by the butt, we sang a song and marched along with Slattery's mounted foot.